When I decided to work on staying young indefinitely, I knew it was going to be a super long journey and that only one thing would get me there: resilient and strong willpower. But I was struggling hard with procrastination until I committed 10 days to this one activity that, apart from my time, didn't cost me anything. So stick around if you want to find out what willpower is and why you need it, how this activity increases your willpower and keeps you healthy, and if this activity is something for you. Hello fellow adventurers, great that you're here to join me on the modern day quest to the fountain of youth. I'm Marius and it is my mission to make it easy and fun for you to understand what keeps you younger for longer. Should you be curious as to why I think that we can live indefinitely, then check out my channel. Let's get into it. Let's start with what willpower actually is. See? That's willpower. Took years of training. American social psychologist Roy Baumeister defines willpower as the energy people use for self-control and to make decisions. Now, he found that this energy is limited. Imagine, after a long strenuous day, it's probably harder to reject that cold beer. However, he also found that this energy can be increased through training. Hence, willpower is very much like a muscle. Now, why would you need high willpower? Well, see, the ability to delay gratification will help you to navigate and resist the short-term temptations of everyday life so that you can actually focus on achieving your long-term goals, even if that is finding your long-term goal. And if you're like me 5 years ago and you're totally lacking the willpower to go after what you want from life, then you should do 3 things. Subscribe, like, and keep watching to find out what this magically enhancing willpower activity is. But before the big reveal, let's talk about why this 10-day activity actually increases your willpower. The activity's conditions leave you pretty much in the perfect environment to strengthen your willpower, since you're literally deprived of all short-term temptations and therefore have to delay gratification. Let me explain. When you join in one of the many dedicated locations around the world, your task is to build a certain skill while you are there. You are exposed to a stringent program and you surrender your smartphone or all other distractors such as reading or writing. And no talking. Yeah, that's right. Silence for 10 days. You can see now how those conditions leave you pretty much no other choice than to progress your skill. And the only temptation you're gonna face during those 10 days is to think of something else other than the task at hand. Sounds like quite a commitment, right? Yes, and little did I know that this would become the probably 10 hardest days of my life, but when I finished the course, I left with the feeling that I can achieve anything I set my mind to. And besides increased willpower, I left with Superman-like concentration, crystal clear clarity of mind, and the feeling that I can control my thoughts and emotions better. All while having gained a lot of insights in how my mind works. As to myself, I am confident to call this activity the #1 catalyst in my life that enabled me to pursue the things I really wish for. So, can you already guess what this activity is? Let me review. Wait, I have a buzz, and it's the Fountain of Youth Explorer team in the field, and they found a real-life example of this activity. Okay, let's cut over to them real quick.
Okay, follow me. But be quiet. We don't want to disturb. Wow, can you see it? Isn't that amazing? Let's see if we can get any closer. Oh, sorry. Back to the studio.
Okay, that did not go as planned. But by now you might guess that this activity has something to do with meditation. And you're right. It's a very specific kind of meditation though. It's a 10-day Vipassana retreat in the tradition of Zen Goenka. And this would not be the modern day quest to the fountain of youth if we wouldn't talk about how this activity is keeping you young and healthy. Scientific studies around the world have shown that Vipassana meditation has many mental and physical health benefits, such as it relieves stress, reduces anxiety, improves overall mental wellness. It can help fight addictions. I, for example, quit smoking through that. And there are indications that it changes your brain in a way so that it degenerates slower as you age. Yes, that's right. Just as the rest of your body, your brain degenerates as you age. And just as you keep fit physically through exercise, you can see meditation as exercise for your mind. Alright, let's determine now if such a course is something for you. As per the Vipassana organization, there's two groups of people who should not go. People who are physically too weak to follow the schedule, or people who have a mental illness, psychiatric problems, or are going through strong emotional upheaval. In both cases, you can still apply, but I urge you to be honest about your conditions so that together with the organizers you can determine if or how you can benefit from such a course. For everyone else, there really are no arguments for not giving it a shot, especially if you are struggling with procrastination and are trying to find the energy to pursue or uncover your purpose in life. Then get up your lazy ass and sign up. Apart from investing your time, it does not cost you anything. Yes, you heard right, it's absolutely 100% free. All accommodation, food and program is paid for. Where's the catch, you might ask? No catch, my fellow explorers. Vipassana retreats in the tradition of Goenka finance themselves solely through volunteer work and donations, which they accept, by the way, only after you completed one full 10-day course. Within 53 years, this approach has led to such courses now being offered in over 300 locations worldwide. Does that not already speak to the great effect that people get out of it? If there would be no effect, would anybody donate or volunteer? Will it be hard? Hell yes! But so will be chasing your dreams, be it finding the fountain of youth or anything else. And if there would be only one thing that I may recommend to you that would give you the clarity of mind and energy to make a change for the better in your life, then this is it. And now, over to the Fountain of Youth score. So are you ready for the Fountain of Youth score? We achieve a whopping 74% for the 10-day Vipassana Meditation retreat. Now, to find out how I actually arrive at this score, let's dive a little bit deeper into each of the 4 categories. When we look at the adoption and learning category, it's not super easy to adopt, unfortunately, into everyday life, because after you leave the camp, you're told that you need to meditate 2 hours each day to keep up the effects. Also, it's quite a learning effort, because you need to spend over 100 hours learning this. There are some limitations because some people can simply not participate, but it's effective regardless of age. So, together, for adoption and learning, this brings us to 60%. When we look at what it takes to perform this activity actually, the only thing that's really pulling down the score is that it takes 10 full days. There's very little requirements because you basically just need to be able to sit comfortably somewhere, and a retreat is a one-off commitment. And as mentioned, it's 100% free of charge. So the execution category scores 80% here. Next up, the measures effects on longevity. Since you need to keep up your Vipassana practice after the camp to get long-lasting health span and quality of life effects, only moderate scores here. But when you leave the camp, it for sure leaves you with a razor-sharp mind, feeling young and fresh. So 73% on longevity effect. Last, let's look at safety and risk. Basically, we see a moderate amount of scientific research claiming positive health span effects here. However, the sign-up process for and support during the retreat make it really safe to perform. And the sheer amount of non-scientific positive feedback you get from course participants is overwhelming. So, we get a total of 87% on safety and risk. Now, if we bring all the 4 categories of the Fountain of Youth score together, then this means we arrive at our 74% overall. Now, should you be hyped to get deeper into this or even sign up for a Vipassana Meditation retreat, then check out the resources that are linked in the description below. I can imagine that after all this Fountain of Youth talk, you're probably curious as to why I believe that we can live indefinitely, and for that, check out this video here. Last, thank you so much for watching. I'm Marius. Please leave a comment. This is the modern day quest to the Fountain of Youth.